we've done the assessment on the person, or we've done a reading on the person, and generally when I do a healing on a person, I would basically have this impression that the person needs some healing. I would see that there's maybe a lot of turmoil in their lives, there's a lot of problems and so on, and then I would say it seems like you would really benefit from a healing. Typically, this would be if there's time for it. When I do certain types of readings, I have a limited time, so I don't always get to this part. This is when you actually schedule time in for a healing. I would say your typical time that I would set aside for a reading and a healing would be more towards an hour. So that means that you would have to have an hour and then some time in between, so that you would have a quarter of an hour to then do your disconnection and all the rest of it. So if you wanted to do a reading, questions, and then go to a healing for the person, you would typically need about 50 minutes to an hour. And then that would mean that your scheduling of when you do your readings and how long readings take, this would actually determine whether you would have time for something like a healing or not. What you want to do then is, first of all, uh, understand, okay, well, I want to do a healing on the person, or you ask the person, I can do a healing for you. I picked up some problems. I can do a healing for you clairvoyantly or intuitively. Would you like a healing? Okay, if they say yes, then the intention is that we are going into a healing space, and then we want to bring that person's impression on a reading screen. We have the intention that we're going to do a healing. We tell them, look, I'm going to go into a healing space. I'm going to mute you, or I'm not going to just do that for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to be quiet, just so they understand you're not going to say anything to them. And then you're going to go into your clairvoyant space on your reading screen, and you're going to work on them with the intention of giving them a healing. You can use other modalities. If you've had Reiki training, or you had any other training, I know tapping is not really going to be so relevant here, because tapping takes a lot of other processes as well. But you can recommend this if you do an energetic healing, or clairvoyant healing, or intuitive healing on them, and you pick up something that would benefit them, like tapping or sound healing or something to that effect. You can say, I have done all I can do. I would recommend that you do this as well. It would also help. Right, so what we would do is we would typically have energy running through them. I show energy running from the top to the bottom. You can also run energy from the feet upwards. Do what you feel guided to do. This is really the most important part of it, is that when we do readings, we see what the impressions are of what is the problem with the person. When we do the healing, we then follow our intuition. We let the energy flow where it's supposed to go, and you say, my intention is for the healing already, and we use our imagination to run energy through the person, and we say, well, where's the best place to use it? Okay, I want to bring energy towards the person's left side. I want to have it in the heart area and work on that, which is shown. Oh, I want to bring some energy and move it into the person's energetic body, very much the emotional aura, and I want to work on this spot, and then do whatever's needed in that part, and then I pay attention. Then we have the intention of healing the person. We see where the energy goes, and generally it's like a story playing off, and we want to see what happens. Once we've done the healing, and typically it takes about 5 minutes. I would always say give about 5 minutes for healing. I've found that some people really do the healing within like about 2 or 3 minutes. 5, 6 minutes is starting to stretch it out quite a lot for clairvoyance or for intuitive healings, purely because we're working on the energetic level. We're not really working so much on the person's physical body. Reiki sessions, we do work on them physically only, and that could take up to an hour, hour and a quarter. This really takes 5 minutes. So put about 5 minutes aside for this. Also, energetically, and for these types of healings, it is a lot that we're actually putting into it. A lot of the times it relaxes people. It can have an effect afterwards. They can have different responses to healing, same as with Reiki. So you can recommend that afterwards that they drink water, that they take it easy and rest. So all the things relative to healing modalities really count here as well. Take care of yourself afterwards. Go and drink some water. Take it easy. Relax a bit. You might have a response from this, a physical response like your stomach running out, or you could have some kind of a detox effect on your body. Okay, so when we finish with the energetic healing, we would seal it off. I literally go and wrap like a ribbon around them, or like a golden cord around them, and my intention is that I want to seal the healing off. So I basically say, okay, I've done everything I can, and I want to make it last. So I'll just wrap them in. So I seal the healing. We do that in other healing modalities as well. It's you can draw a figure 8 by infinity sign over the person. You can use the things that you've learned in other modalities. Absolutely. Never limit yourself. Importantly, when we've done the healing, so we've had our intention, we moved our energy around, we sealed the healing off, then it would be great to disconnect as well. Then we give the messages to the sitter and say, okay, well, I've been guided to work on your body. I've moved the energy around your body, and it went to these areas. I worked on the left side in your heart area, and I've worked in your energetic body, on the aura, on your emotional layer, very much connected to this. This is what I saw in the reading, and then this is what I saw now. Or you can say, your guides came in and helped you as well, if they believe in their guides. Or you can say, I had this angelic kind of a feeling that it was that there was other things coming in and helping you as well. All you do is you just go and explain what you saw, explain what the experience was for you in the healing. If you don't remember anything, that's absolutely perfect. Generally, when you're reading space, you can remember most things that happened. Doesn't mean you're going to remember everything. Don't worry if you don't. You can just say, look, this is mainly when you do a reading and there is something to say afterwards, it's because that person needs the message. So what you do is you just basically bring the message to the person from the healing so that they can understand, okay, well, this and this and this happened. This is what was required. So they can go forward with that. Okay, so this is gone through the whole part of basically seeing what's wrong, if there's anything wrong with the person, or just if you generally feel like a person needs a healing, you can then do a healing on them intuitively, and then let the energy do its work, see what it does, get all the impressions, understand what's happening, and let it happen using your intention and then your imagination. Seal the healing off, also again, your intention and imagination, and then bring all the messages to the person, to the fore, so you can explain what happened because you were quiet for a couple of minutes, and then they can then understand what was happening right now, or that could benefit them in some way. And then you can then call the healing off, so now the healing is done. And then I think it's always a great idea. I normally always state with opening a reading and closing a reading, or with doing anything, I'm going into a healing space now, and then I'm going to say, okay, right, I've done the healing, I've completed it. So I said, okay, I'm starting the healing and I'm completing the healing now. So you want to start things, you want to then call it to an end. Same as where you start the reading off, you say, okay, yes, the reading is now open. And then once the reading is closed, you say the reading is now closed, meaning that you can then leave it. So it's for the sitter to understand that you are complete. I also sometimes say that I'm complete now, and that's something I learned from someone, of course. But then it's great to say that, because then you also have the response of saying, I had the healing, I'm done with the healing, so I'm closing it now. I'm not going to do anything more on this. It's finished.